A few more big-time programs hit the floor and gave us a tease of their talent for this year. We'll share our biggest takeaways from Arkansas's Pro Day and UNC Scrimmage next.
You are Locked On NBA Draft with no ceilings. Your daily podcast on the future stars of the NBA. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On NBA Draft with no ceilings. My name is Tyler Metcalf. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Joining me as always is my co-host and fellow draft analyst for the last decade, Tyler Rucker. How we doing?
Mr. Metcalf, we're doing great. Another day closer to college basketball and another day closer to the start of draft season, baby. How are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. It's been a fun last couple days or a week or so of diving into some preseason stuff, some pro days, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to recap North Carolina scrimmage. We're going to look at some of the improvements that some of the returners for Arkansas seemingly have made, but I want to start right off the bat with two of the bigger name recruits, two of the bigger name freshmen, Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas. We're going to run through the entire Arkansas roster who had their pro day, which I thought was a really cool experience to kind of watch and have televised and hear Cal's thoughts and his coaching. Let's start big picture there before we dive into Darius and Malik. But what was your just initial impression of that pro day overall?
Yeah, it got to a point where I was like, it'd be really cool if all these teams did this, if everyone got on board. And it's shout out to, Coach Cal and Arkansas for doing this, because I think it's a cool way for not only just, folks like us that are evaluating and scouting year round. We don't have to, as much as I'd love to be there in person, we're trying to get ready for the upcoming beast of the year. And it gives fans, I think, a chance to see like, hey, what's going on? You get excited, you build some buzz. I was even watching, I think when it was happening live, and Arkansas faithful just all over the chat, getting pumped up for the year. So it's a cool experience. And, Calipari talked about it a number of times throughout the event. It's his opportunity to kind of also give his kids, I'm talking about the players, a chance to really showcase their ability. And hey, after this, now it's time to go focus on the season, and then you can revisit, NBA dreams down the road. So I think it's a cool little hat tip by Cal to kind of let the players showcase their stuff before the year. And NBA scouts, we've been to plenty of those. I love that stuff in person because it's just like, oh, this is great. This is normal. This is like breathing. So what did you think, Metcalf? What was your thoughts?
And I love how the vast majority of like when he would blow the whistle and like kill the play or whatever was to highlight guys doing the little things. Like, we're talking before we hit record here, but like the one that really stood out was like a play that Carter Knox did, where it's like, who made the pass? Carter. Who cut through and relocated? Carter. Who ended up getting the shot? Carter. And just little stuff like that, reaffirming the little things that lead to winning basketball and being unselfish and playing within the team setting and doing all that kind of stuff. I thought was really cool. And it's just a fun sense of makes it a little more personable, and you get a better sense of these guys. I think something else that, really popped to me was like, oh yeah, a lot of these guys are new to the program, and a lot of the terminology is very Cal specific. Like at one point, the scout that they had on that they were interviewing, they asked him, Coach Cal just said this phrase. What is that? He's like, I don't know. That's a Coach Cal phrase. And if I was there, I'd be able to figure it out. But I don't know what that is. It's like, oh yeah, all of these teams and coaches have different terminology. And it's a good thing to just kind of keep in mind too, as guys have early season struggles, or it's like, oh my God, I can't believe he screwed up that play or missed that assignment. It's like, well, he's learning an entire new vocabulary.
It's one of the most important things, I think, always with basketball, and realizing it is like new situations means usually a new playbook. Like we always say, hey, playbook is a big deal. Yeah. Everything you're learning personalities we're saying like as a guard, when mainly you're making the jump to the NBA, we always say like, hey, people don't realize also you're learning a playbook, you're learning new terminology. Personally, like I spent a year overseas coaching, and the first week of practice there, I was like, oh my gosh, everything's something is called something completely different than what I'm used to. So it's just the situation, it takes a little time. That's why we're like, hey, we got to be patient with these guys out of the gate because they're still learning the ropes. They're learning the terminology. So yeah, it's cool too when guys are no problem to admit, like, I have no idea what that means. If I was in the building, yes, I would. So it's awesome. I love to see that. Like you pointed out with Cal, it was really cool to see. He wasn't just blowing the whistle because of a mistake. It was blowing a whistle because he's like, you can do that. Like I want you to shoot. I want you to like be more aggressive. Like you don't have to try to just make the right pass. Like he would praise guys when they did do that, but he would also be like, you can score, shoot it. Like building confidence, which is I like to see that.
Two guys who don't necessarily lack for confidence, Darius Acuff, Malik Thomas, and rightfully so. Where do you want to start with those guys?
I let's start with Acuff. I think this is the one that's drawn plenty of a buzz and preseason hype, the preseason hype machine when it comes to the draft space. This is a 5-star recruit as a point guard, talented. I think he's around 6'3". What is he listed at? 6'3", 190 on Arkansas's website. I believe they had a little graphic that he had like a 6'5.5" wingspan, which I was like, maybe just one more would have been great, but we'll deal with that. Metcalf, I've been a little cooler on Acuff coming into this, and then this is why I always though am cautiously like pumping the brakes, because if I saw him in person at one thing and he didn't impress, doesn't mean the next time I won't see him he's gonna impress. And I think watching this Arkansas thing, like, yes, it's a pro day. It's meant to make them look as good as possible, but looked like a completely different player than what I saw before. And now I'm getting a little excited about Darius Acuff. So what did you think?
I was in a similar boat, and listeners and viewers, in case you missed it, Corey and Albert just did a full episode deep dive into Darius Acuff's game. Highly recommend checking that out. But I've been a little cooler on him. Not that I was out. I've been perplexed. Like there are tools that really pop, and then there's stuff where it's like, oh, I hated all of that. And he looks better, I think, than he looked at IMG already, and that's really encouraging. And one of my big nitpicks with him was his kind of tendency to over dribble and pound the air out of the ball and not just make quick, simple decisions, but try and make the home run play every single time. It produces a fun highlight tape, but it's also infuriating when you're just watching him within the flow of the offense. And I thought just in this 3v3, 4v4, 5v5 settings, his decision-making was a lot quicker. Still a couple examples of him hesitating and not being overly decisive, but some of the playmaking reads were awesome. I thought the shot looked a lot better. He was playing on and off ball, which we really didn't get to see a lot of at IMG, but with a backcourt that includes DJ Wagner, Billy Richmond, Carter Knox, Malik Thomas, he's going to have to play off ball too. And I thought that was really encouraging. I thought the shot looked a lot better. Some of the playmaking reads were quicker, and the passing accuracy is really fun. So I came away really encouraged with Acuff.
Yeah, it's never been a thing of me being out on a preseason prospect, because that's just ridiculous. Like, we're always patient. It's just more of like, hey, my ranking might not be as aggressive as the public consensus, the hype machine. And we always say, like, hey, we're not going to just go off of what everybody else thinks, but we take that in consideration, and you try to see, like, hey, do I agree with what everyone else is? Acuff, it was just from the get, I was like, hey, this might not be a top 10 guy right out of the gate. This might be more of like, oh man, I'd really like to get him late lottery and just be patient and let him find his groove. Then you watched him at this pro day, and I was like, oh man, there's way more to get excited about than I initially saw, which is scouting, folks. You wait and let it see what happens and develops. The playmaking reads really was awesome. I loved, we talked about Calipari earlier. He got on him a couple times where he's like, you shoot the ball. Like, that's a mid-range pull-up. Take your first shot, which is so big for these kids, because I think a lot of times they're trying to play the right way, especially when they're, oh gosh, scouts are in the building. Yeah. You're trying to make the right reads and not be a shot chucker. And Kyle's like, no, be you. Like, I want you to shoot. I want you to get that first look. So Acuff looked great there. I agree with you. I thought the shot looked much better. There's just a lot of good stuff with his game, and then that size. We've got a good foundation to roll with. I just want to kind of see what it's going to look like with this roster.
And then I came away pretty encouraged with Malik Thomas too. I thought his shot mechanics looked a little smoother, a little more natural. I thought he looked really, really good in like the situational and 3v3, 4v4 stuff that they were doing. And then 5v5, I thought he oddly took a little more time to adjust and was playing a little slower. Cal got on him a couple times. Was like, hey, just move the ball, like pass and relocate, get rid of it, like be confident in your capabilities and your shot. But overall, I thought he had some incredible passes. The on ball creation with him was really fun when he was decisive. He was a little prone to over dribbling at times, but when he just plays simple, it's like, oh man, this dude's a problem.
Yeah, and for everyone, Malik Thomas, 5-star recruit, another one, 680 or excuse me, 680, 6'5", about 185. He's a bucket. If you haven't watched him yet, he's a bucket. He's a walking bucket, quick shot guy. It probably gives you a lot of vibes of like the Jordan Clarksons, the Malik Monks, like those type of guys that, oh man, they get hot, buckle up. And I think that's with Malik this year. I know he can score.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you saw him in person, and every time I've watched him, I start to like him more.
Yeah,
and it's my favorite type of prospect. You're like, man, I'm starting to itch. Like, I get it. I like this kid. So watching him at the pro day, I'm like, man, he could just get buckets when he wants. I just want to see what else. What else do you got in at your disposal this year? Is it the playmaking? Is it going to be the feel? Get some off-ball defense, whatever. I just want to see something else because I know he could score and he can light it up.
I do think there is some sneaky defensive upside there.
Mm-hmm.
And like when we saw him play for the Portland Generals out at Hoop Summit, he had a bit of an attitude to his game
In a good way
that I loved. It was really good, like incredible competitor. Like I don't care if you guys are wearing Team USA jerseys. Like I'm about to bust you out here.
Yeah.
So I'm really intrigued to see how much of that spills into his defense because I think the tools are there. Just how consistent can he be? But right after this quick break, we're going to dive into some of the returners and how they've looked. One of the tools that helps make a huge difference for business owners is Quo, formerly OpenPhone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard me talk about before, just with a new name. And here's why it matters. Every missed call is money left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. Quo is the #1 business phone system that streamlines customer communications. It works right through an app on your phone or computer, so no more carrying 2 phones or relying on a landline. Their built-in AI agent is a game changer. It can answer after-hours calls, capture leads, and keep business moving even when you're off the clock. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly OpenPhone. Get started for free and get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/lockedonnba. That's QUO.com/lockedonnba. And if you've got existing numbers with another service, Quo will port them over at no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Returners, some big names: DJ Wagner, Billy Richmond, Carter Knox. Where do you want to start?
I'm going to let you pick. You get either Carter Knox or Billy, or we can start with DJ.
I got to start with my sweet prince, Billy Richmond III. I love this dude. Just going back to his high school days, I remember watching that high school team in New Jersey with Aaron Bradshaw and DJ Wagner. And every time I watched him, it's like, who's this junior that is just getting buckets, defending like a crazy person? I'm in love with him. Turns out to be Billy Richmond. And obviously we know last year couldn't shoot it all. Big issue. But there's some fun playmaking stuff, the work rate, the energy, the grittiness was off the charts. The defense rocked, and I thought his shot looked a lot better. Not saying he's going to be an elite shooter, but and if we can get into the 30s, high 20s, I would take with that defense. And I thought he looked like he's taking a major leap over the summer.
Billy Richmond, if you're getting caught up on, draft prospects, that's why you're here. But man, Billy Richmond is one of those guys you watch, and the film grinders, the tape assassins out there. you watch Billy Richmond and you're like, I don't care what the box score says. This guy can play basketball. This guy knows how to play. And it's on both sides of the ball. There's really good playmaking. He's athletic is crazy. If you see Arkansas's welcoming event to like all the fans, I'm sorry, Arkansas fans, you guys probably have a funny nickname for it or a cool nickname. He throws down like a windmill 360. Oh my gosh, it was nasty and brings it all the way down. So athleticism, never in doubt. It's just been like, oh my gosh, could Billy Richmond just get any sort of shot from outside? And we've got a legit weapon that is an NBA player because he's 6'6", 6'7", 200 plus pounds. He's ready to roll. It's just any shot. Like Metcalf's not kidding. He shot 12.5% last year. So the bar is low. It can't be much lower.
If we double it to 25, huge jump.
It's a huge deal if he gets to 25. So like before we recorded, I was like, if he gets to 30 anywhere with a 3 in the front, oh my gosh.
It'll get dangerous.
But Metcalf, I mean, as good as Acuff looked, as good as, Malik looked, Billy Richmond hit a step back or a set shot 3. It went in and I just here we go. I was like, Billy Richmond, folks. So this is a big breakout guy because I think NBA scouts, evaluators were all on edge because this is what you want. You'd want to be a playoff team or a team at the late teens to be like, we got Billy Richmond. You get a good piece that might be a really impactful player for years to come because of the defense, because of the playmaking, the feel, the athleticism. It's just any sort of shot. We're in a real fun place.
Yeah, he's a basketball player. And it's like he's not a specialist. He's a Swiss Army knife. Like, just what do you need him to do? Except shoot. And if he can get to just like, oh well, if he shot, it's not a horribly wasted possession. That's a huge improvement just because he impacts the game in so many different ways when he's out there. Carter Knox, I was hoping for more. Yeah, like he wasn't bad. Handle still looked pretty meh. A little too passive still for me. Yep. But the size looked good. The shot still looks good. I just came away wanting a little more from him.
It's still teasing. He's still teasing. And I think you could even hear a couple times with Cal, Coach Calipari, he's trying to get Carter to think, like, I want him attack. Like in me watching, I'm like, be an alpha out there. Be that mentality. You'd rather tone a guy back. Is whatever, I talk to coaches and scouts. You'd rather tone a guy back from being too aggressive. You don't want to have to be like, come on, be more aggressive. So it's tough because he's making the right play sometimes, but you're also just like, man, just shoot it. And that's what I love with Calipari with a lot of guys. Like, that's the best shot. Just shoot it. You're open. Don't try to be cute and make an extra pass to get another shot. Like, you're wide open. Just shoot it. You can score. Carter's going to have plenty of those flashes where you're like, man, this looks like the part. This looks like what you'd want as a sophomore leap candidate. Good size on the perimeter, good size for a potential NBA forward, the body, the athleticism, the outside shot. It's just how consistent are we going to get this? I feel like with this team, it's just going to be tough because with Carter, like, are we going to have a couple nights where he's got, he had 11 points and 6 rebounds, and it's like, is that moving the needle? I need him to try to be getting like 18, 20. Like, you need to be that guy. So
not every night, but
not every night. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, there's the mentality of like, all right, let me go to work. Let me get mid range. Let that create the 3-point shot and then attack. But every once in a while, I'm like, man, I wish he'd do a little bit more. And then he has a beautiful play, and I'm like, all right, just when I thought I'm out, I'm back in.
I think another guy who this is a huge year for, DJ Wagner. Obviously last year with the injury to Boogie Fland, DJ got thrown into basically the fire, having to play full-time point. And I think that could be a really big blessing in disguise for him. I thought the shot looked better. I thought he looked more comfortable and confident on ball. What that means for his NBA potential, who knows? A lot of ball left to be played, but he just looked really, really comfortable out there, as you would hope a junior would. But even just like the fluidity and the compactness of his jumper looked much, much more comfortable.
Look, I've done a complete 180 on DJ's pro potential since he was at Kentucky, is because I think everyone then was trying to hype him as like, this is a top 5 guy. No. Then I was like, no, it's not. But then you saw his second year, late Kentucky days, and I want to say maybe the second year, you started to see the mentality defensively really turn up. And now this is the year where he can really cement himself as like, okay, I'm a legit guard for the next level. I might not be your franchise guard, but I might be a guard that's going to play for a very long time, be a pest defensively. Like, look how many guys have made very long careers at the NBA level because of defense, being able to set the table offensively as a point guard. It's no slander to DJ, but I just think we see this all the time. And then guys try to convince themselves that there's something they aren't. And I think when guys get a little humbled and then realize like, hey, okay, now let me go back to work. We find it out, Quentin Grimes, who was a big time recruit at Kansas, didn't work out, goes to Houston, reinvents himself. Now he's the story of the NBA after Kuminga finally figured it out. So I don't know, Metcalf. I'm still not selling DJ stock, but I'm just more like, hey, let's just see what he's got this year, because the confidence is the biggest takeaway, I think, from the pro days. Like, you could see, like you said, more poised, more relaxed.
Yeah, it just seems like he's adding just another arrow to the quiver, just like another piece to the puzzle is being filled in, and he's just continuing to round out as a really well-rounded player year after year, which is exactly what you want from guys returning. And that's the whole point of returning, is to build on your game, add something new, and he's in a perfect setting to do that, and he's proving that he can. And he's doing it now in a backcourt that's absolutely loaded. But a team that I might have some concerns about their backcourt, North Carolina, will break down their scrimmage next. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Every day we make decisions, but on PrizePicks, being right can actually get you paid. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Playing PrizePicks is such a fun, simple way to add more excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections like Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley rushing for a touchdown, and you're in the game. And the new injury reboot feature, if your player leaves early and doesn't return, it won't count against you. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. North Carolina, where do you want to start?
Man, really excited out of you, Metcalf.
I like their pieces. I have a lot of concerns about their playmaking. Like, I thought Kyan Evans looked intriguing. I think he'll be solid running the point. But I think we may be underrating how big of a loss RJ Davis and Elliot Cadeau could be for this team.
Yeah, it's I'm Tar Heel fans. It's okay. We're here. We're friendly.
There's plenty of optimism and good.
There's some. I'm just, it's not.
Off.
No. It's not. It's not ugly. It's just the deeper you get, you're like, oh man, someone's got to really step up here.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say like, oh, the Tar Heels don't have a good team. I'm not saying that at all. They have some really good players. They have some really fun players this year. It's just, I think you're onto something about like, oh, the vets. You're putting a lot on transfers, which is fine. And this is the new way of basketball in college, is like, guys are going to transfer. Guys are going to move around. You're just asking them to hit the ground running, build some chemistry quick. When you're doing that in the backcourt, things can get tricky because you have to get guys to buy into not being obsessed with being the guy.
Yeah.
I like the Kyan Evans shout out. I think that's going to be a really important piece for them, because I think he's going to be a little bit more of the Elliot Cadeau vibes, but just a better scorer. No drive-by slander to Elliot Cadeau. Sorry, Elliot. But I like some of the pieces, Metcalf. Who got you excited, and how much longer can we do this podcast without you talking about Henry Visar?
That was exactly the name I was going to bring up.
Look good.
I thought Visar was arguably the biggest transfer get in the portal in the offseason. I was really bummed when he decided to go back. Made sense. I get it. But I think he's going to be a total game changer for them. I think he's the best rim protector and defender, like center defender, that they've had in a long time. just the mobility, the constant being in the right position at the right time, the cat and mouse game and drop coverage, the amount of shots that he deterred in that scrimmage alone. It's like, all right, he didn't get 5 blocks, but he single-handedly turned away 5 because the guard's like, nope, don't want that. Let's kick it out and reset the offense. And then we saw some kind of fun offensive versatility. He's not going to be out there creating his own shot, but there's some fun pick and pop stuff, rim running, offensive rebounding. I am a very, very, very big Henry Basar fan.
Tar Heel fans, if you're listening to this, and I'm hoping that you're here with us and joining the whole year, but I'm an Arizona Wildcats guy. I watched Vasar last year. I was really bummed when he said he was going to leave. I understood why, but I was really bummed when he's going to leave because this is one of those guys, we've talked about him before, Metcalf. Like every time he got on the court for the Wildcats, I was like, this kid has to play more. He just makes things happen. He's so talented and skilled, and he plays so hard. He's just always running on full speed ahead. The only question I have with him this year, and the only thing I want to see, is when he does go up against bigger bigs, like more powerful ones, that's when I think he could get a little exposed. I just want to see how he holds up that way. And
I thought his legs looked bigger. I thought he looked stronger than last year.
He looks like he's filled out a little bit. And hey, maybe the weight's going to be listed the same, but it's like, hey, you could also shift that a little bit. Yeah. But he looks so good, and he's so skilled because he could step outside, hit the three ball, got good playmaking shot, did look good, and then he's active around the basket. He fights. Yeah. He does not give up on plays. So he's everything you'd want. I agree with you. I thought that was one of the biggest transfer gets. He should be fantastic for North Carolina. It should be one of their best players. And I just think this is a first round caliber pick. Because the NBA teams would be looking and being like, oh my gosh. Like if you're a playoff team looking at him, be like, you could have that off the bench. That's exactly what you want. High energy guy that's just going to run through a wall for you and hit threes.
Like a similar thought process to the Nuggets approach with Deron Holmes, where it's like, is he a franchise changing center? Probably not. But can he be an awesome backup? Absolutely. And provide really versatile defense and versatile offensive finishing and just do the little things on both ends of the floor for 15 minutes a game, 1,000%. And those guys are worth more. Yeah, I think they're absolutely worth a pick in the 20s at least.
Absolutely. 100%. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to pivot to a couple freshmen. Derek Dixon, I don't think we saw any of. I'm not sure he played. If he did, it wasn't much. But I'm really excited to see him. I think he's a sneaky combo guard to keep an eye on. We did see a lot of Caleb Wilson, and it was the full Caleb Wilson experience. It was chaotic. There was a lot of good. There was a lot of what was that. And I think that's how a lot of this year is going to be. But the tools rock. The process can be really fun. But the end result on a lot of the stuff was like, what was that?
It's literally like a seesaw. That just like, but this seesaw though is like every time when Caleb Wilson does something good, it's just so emphatically positive. And when he does something ugly, you're like, ooh, where did that come from? But it's just, he's going to be the potential guy in this draft to me. But when you get past the top 3, top 4, I'm saying top 4 from now on, who's going to be the next, just like, oh man, if this comes together, who is it? I think it's Caleb Wilson, because of when he is when he's rolling and it's smooth and it's confident and it looks good, it looks unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because of just his length, his athleticism, and the tools all together, you're like, oh my, like hold on to that monster. I don't know. What were your takeaways? Hit me with it. Now you got me pumped up.
He's raw. He's going to need time. And it's like, how quickly can it all come together? Because if it does, now we're talking about a top 5, top 6 guy. But if it doesn't, maybe mid-late lottery is a little more fitting. The tools are awesome. But a couple other guys, just real rapid fire here. Luka Bogovats, shot looks awesome. I'm a little concerned what else he is going to give. I won't be surprised at all if he has a couple games where he goes 8 of 10 from 3. Shot looks gorgeous. I think should be a really fun outlet for them. Then Jonathan Powell, West Virginia transfer, looks a lot stronger. Defense looked good. Shot looks good. I think he's going to be a really sneaky, valuable transfer as well. Seth Trimble looks like Seth Trimble. I think he's fun. But and then just Jaden Young, transfer guard. I thought he showed some really fun stuff as well. NBA, who knows? But I think another guy who could provide a bunch of value from the transfer portal.
I've been looking into Luka, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think they're like trying to see if he's going to get cleared by the NCAA.
Oh, okay.
So that's a fun wrinkle because 6'6" junior, like, man, he has a gorgeous shot.
Yeah.
Woo, he'll shoot the crap out of it. But I was like, oh gosh, dang it, I have to now trust the NCAA to clear this kid. So if they clear Tyon Grant Foster, not this kid, I'm gonna be furious. But Seth Trimble, every year we're like, man, Seth Trimble could play.
Yeah.
Every year scouts are like, maybe Seth Trimble year, and it's just like, no, we're not doing this again. Seth could play, man. He's good. He'll get a 2A. He could play. I had a couple others too. I mean, Jaron Stevenson, I've always just been like, come on, man, one more jump, one more leap, and we can get talking. But yeah, I think they had some intriguing guys. It's just that's where we're talking about earlier. Like, you get to some questions about the depth. A couple guards that I was like, hey, it looks solid, but are they going to really be ready to take that big leap? But Caleb Wilson, I mean, if it comes together, that is a bad man. And then you get Vasar as a running mate with him, and then hopefully some solid play from Seth Trimble and Evans. Like, North Carolina's going to be solid this year. They're going to be tough. They're not going to be a walk in the park for anyone. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, they got a lot of size, a lot of athleticism, a lot of physicality, and I think they're going to be one of those teams that just gets better throughout the year. But he is Tyler Rucker. You can follow him at Tyler_Rucker. I'm Tyler Metcalf. You can follow me at TMetcalf11. Thank you for making Locked On NBA Draft with No Ceilings your first listen every day. For your second listen, go find Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Josh Lloyd hosts the #1 fantasy basketball podcast, giving you daily tips and helping you win your league, all while making you a smarter NBA fan. Find Locked On Fantasy Basketball on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.